said something that's really interesting, which goes against the narrative, Nick, which you've just said, look, the grassroots don't matter that much. I barely knew who David Beckham was apart from a pretty boy soccer player. He played for Manchester United, and people talk about grassroots. The reality is he did play grassroots. He played kids soccer. He was plucked out at age 15 and taken to Manchester United and trained, basically. Finished high school at Manchester United, basically, right?
Some kids are pulled out at 6 or 7 now. Some kids are
at 6 or 7
pulled out in early primary school, and they're moved from their local village in South America or Africa or wherever, and they're actually billeted into a club, like it might be a club like Real Madrid or Barcelona or Manchester United or Manchester City, and they spend their entire lives developing into a professional soccer player.
And the other thing I've noticed with those teams is that how international the English Premier League teams are, Nick. I mean, they're not populated with English blokes. They're not. They're populated with men young men from around the world, like literally around the world. So this whole idea that we need a very strong, boyhood, a lot of boys play, and they do play a lot of soccer in England anyway, boys, but the idea that we need that huge grassroots in order to pluck talent from no longer exists. They're plucking talent from everywhere in the freaking world.
The Canberra Raiders team is made up of New Zealanders, Englishmen, then Australians, but from around the country. And then there's a couple of Canberrans.
A couple of actual Canberrans.
Of token Canberrans.
Basically, look, they just don't necessarily. I mean, they need young men in Australia to be playing soccer and stuff, football and soccer. Yeah, sure, and that's always going to happen at the school level. But the idea that today professional A-level teams need grassroots in which to pluck from, the most talented boys from Canberra. You know what I mean? Like they don't need grassroots soccer football in Canberra. They need grassroots rugby league in Canberra as much as they do in New Zealand and the Cook Islands and the UK, because that's where they're recruiting from, right?
In fact, the NRL has recruitment pathways in Papua New Guinea, in Fiji, in all of those places. They're plucking people out of obscurity and putting them through a process of training and education and professionalization, because they're product.
It's top-down grassroots, Nick. Yeah, it's product. Exactly. It's a top-down grassroots.
It's a product, Rigas. What are the best products that we have?
Yeah.
Right? The best products that we have, the iPhone, right? The iPhone could not be produced by a small community. The iPhone required a massive infrastructure.
Yeah.
In order to produce it.
Of course.
And that's what successful sports is as a product. It's something that requires an incredibly
successful infrastructure,
large industrial capacity in order to produce.
In all fairness, all the people who've been calling for a more bigger investment in the marketing of women's sport, that's exactly what they've been saying. What they've been saying is, one of the reasons that women's sport is lagging is because you're not making it available as a product for people to consume, right? And people would argue, we don't make it available as a product because it doesn't generate as much money as the men, and we've only got a limited amount of airtime and all that sort of stuff as well. But they also had a point, and the Matildas are a case in point, that if you pump enough money and sponsorship and whatever into that, right, and they're a reasonable team, top 10, right, then basically they've shown that, those people were right. If we actually do give this product some physical availability and mental availability, it can be bigger, as proven.